Q&A time. It's been a while. I did the same thing I did last time. I asked publicly on YouTube, and then I also asked my patrons, so I'll do a separate video for them. Apologies for the sawing. Well, maybe you can't hear it now. Oh, did they stop? They're probably going to start again. Yeah, my neighbors are having a bunch of work done on their yard. I think it's going to look really nice. Do your kids, older one, ever express interest in trying meat or non-vegan foods? So for those who don't know, I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 14-month-old. My 6-year-old, no, never expressed any interest in eating meat or anything else. Not surprising. Again, they're only 6, almost 7. So they still want to be like mommy and daddy, right? We're still cool. This could definitely change as they get older and are more influenced by their peers. They do have a couple vegan friends, so that could help. But yeah, it all depends on them, and I think just how influenced they are by peers and just how like pressured they feel to eat animal products, how much they want to fit in, that sort of thing. At what age should vegan parents allow children to opt out of veganism? It depends on the parent and what their rules are. I mean, I'm not going to micromanage my kids' money, right? Once they're old enough to buy their own things, I'm not going to make sure they're not buying non-vegan stuff. No. Once it's their money, it's their money. They can buy what they like. However, I don't want animal products in my house. I'm not going to open up my fridge and see some like turkey slices or a carton of eggs. No. How have you and partner prepared for the inevitable day your children eat a Big Mac out of rebellious betrayal? So I just assume it's going to happen. At least, I mean, I have 3 kids, right? It's going to happen with at least one of them. You can't get upset by stuff like that. Kids are kids. I think unless they are actively harming themselves or others, you kind of just got to ignore the rebellious shit. They'll get over it. Supplements you take and your kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. Also, how do you feel about Mary Ruth's products? I have a video on the supplements I take. As far as my kids, I think I talked about it in the recent baby, what I eat, what my baby eats in a day. There we go. Yeah, they take the Renzo's multi, sometimes the vitamin D. They get some liquid DHA. They drink calcium fortified soy milk. I think that's it. So the Mary Ruth stuff, I have seen it on Amazon. I've never used any of their stuff. Consumer Lab has approved a few of their products, but they found in 2020 that the liquid probiotic was contaminated with pneumonia-causing bacteria. That's a sign of poor quality control. Mary Ruth's initially disputed the results, but ultimately recalled 2 lots of their liquid probiotic for infants due to possible contamination. It was a voluntary recall. They chose to recall the product, so that's good. Yeah. What was your most awkward declining of non-vegan offered food? Any tips to nicely say no? I don't know. I don't find situations like that particularly awkward, so I can't even like think of, I don't remember them because they didn't bother me, I guess. Tips, I think you just keep it short and sweet and just say no thank you. No thank you, I don't eat animal products. That's it. What made you such a level-headed vegan? I really like some of your views on vaccinations, etc. Thank you. I looked up the definition of level-headed just in case, and it said calm, and I don't think I would consider myself calm. I'm calm here because I'm filming videos, right? But in my everyday life, I'm naturally pretty irritable, quick to anger even. I'm much better that I've gotten older and I'm on medication and I do my best to manage it. But yeah, this is YouTube, you know? I'm showing you the version of me I want you to see. In some circumstances, do you ever say you are plant-based versus saying vegan? I've been vegan for over 7 years, but find in some situations when I say the V word, people automatically bristle or their demeanor changes as if I would automatically judge their eating choice because of my own choice not to eat animal products. I've never said I'm plant-based. I always say I'm vegan. I understand, you know, the reasoning there and why some people wouldn't, but it feels wrong to me. It feels like a lie because it is a lie. I'm not plant-based. I'm vegan. I'm noticing the trend to no longer say vegan, but instead use plant-based, plant-powered when the food/restaurant is serving fully vegan foods. What are your thoughts on this? Why do you think this has happened? So I think the thinking goes that vegan is associated with a philosophy with animal rights, whereas plant-based is just a diet. There's like less judgment behind it. It's less threatening, maybe more welcoming, right? Like no one wants to go vegan, but everyone wants to eat more plants. right? Maybe not. Plant-based might not be any better. That was actually surprising to me. I would think generally plant-based would be seen more favorably than vegan. However, I think plant-based now is vegan, right? I think people see them as interchangeable and they're often used interchangeably. So whatever problems with veganism that people have, it's seen as restrictive, whatever. Maybe they're going to see that with plant-based as well. And I don't think it's just the restriction, because I looked up gluten-free. Like, do people see gluten-free in the same way? Clearly you're restricting, wheat, but people generally see that positively. Food is seen as healthier if it's labeled gluten-free. Do you think it's possible that some people just don't do as well as others on a vegan diet? Yes. I talk about this in my Is It Ever Okay to Eat? Is that what it's called? Is It Ever Okay to Eat Meat video. Also, this video, a woman was hospitalized. If I remember correctly, I think she had like multiple food allergies. Food allergies to common vegan foods like soy, nuts, legumes, and IBS. Those seem to be the two main conditions that make it really hard, if not impossible, for someone to be vegan. Would love to see your thoughts on the adrenal cocktails taking over TikTok lately. So thinking about it, I think I'm going to make a whole video dedicated to this, but yeah, I did not know what adrenal cocktails were before looking into this. Fun. Apart from a lot of animal cruelty being socially conditioned, at least in part, do you believe that at least some cruelty is evil? As a teacher to incarcerated students, I wrestle with the idea of evil a lot. Just curious about your thoughts. That reminds me of that show, Evil. I don't remember what channel that was on. I think we watched it on Hulu or Netflix, but we watched the first season. It was pretty good. Anyway, I think evil acts, evil actions are a lot easier to define than evil people. There are clearly actions we would consider deeply immoral, profoundly immoral, evil, and usually we would describe the person who does that action evil as well. I think evil, pure evil, like cartoon villain, evil, I seriously doubt that actually exists. Even in the worst possible cases, the most damaging individuals, they've almost certainly done decent things, right? They've almost certainly done nice, unselfish things at least a few times. We think of psychopathy as this like no empathy evil person, but that's not what it is. It's a spectrum, and it's lack of empathy, not no empathy. Most people with that diagnosis have empathy. It's just less, sometimes a lot less than the rest of us. And a lot of what we consider evil is impulsive. And even if it's not, even if it's premeditated, often the person thinks they were in the right. They thought they were doing the right thing. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? I mean, you look at these Proud Boys, Enrique, whatever, he just got 22 years, sentenced to 22 years. I mean, he's truly one of the most damaging people on the planet. It's kind of amazing that they're only getting 22, 18 years, whatever. But I would not consider him evil. I'm sure he thought he was doing the right thing. What are some typically vegan values you don't personally adopt, like avoiding companies that allow third-party animal testing? So use is abuse. I don't subscribe to that. I believe you can use an animal or a person without exploiting them. So pets are okay, but if you subscribe, I mean, if you really believe in use is abuse, they're not vegan. Veganism is the moral baseline. I haven't heard that in a very long time. I don't believe you can just draw a line in the sand. This is the moral baseline. If you don't do this, you're just inherently immoral. It's not possible. And really, it has more to do with how we view ourselves, whether we can define ourselves as moral or not. I'm not particularly interested in that. I don't think that's what ethics is about. I'm more interested in the actions, whether the action is good or bad. How much money was your most expensive t-shirt? That is such an odd question. I assume like a t-shirt I've bought. What's the most expensive t-shirt I've bought? I think it would be Baby Man shirt. It's a Mega 64 shirt. And I think with shipping, that was like $32. That has to be the most I've ever spent on a t-shirt, right? Like not a blouse. I just needed it. I just needed that shirt. Also, do you want to have pets again? Which pets are ethical to have? No, I do not want pets again. I just have no desire. I mean, if I saw a little like pygmy goat, oh, I would pet, but do I want a goat? Do I want to take care? Oh my God. As far as which pets are ethical, it depends on so many different factors. Was the animal adopted or bred? Do they need to eat meat? Is it possible to provide them with an enriching environment in captivity? Who are your top favorite vegan YouTubers to watch? So I don't watch vegan content just like for fun. I don't watch vegan YouTubers or anything. I watch Red Letter Media and internet comment etiquette memes. I really don't watch a lot of YouTube in general these days, so I had to Google to I had a hard time even thinking of like 5 other vegan YouTubers, which is very strange. And when I Googled, the first result from the Minimalist Vegan, I'm actually on their list. So that was nice. Earthling Ed, of course. I've looked at some of his little interviews at colleges before, and yeah, I really like him. I haven't watched Joey Carbstrong's street debates, but he seemed pretty cool in the debate he had with that guy, the cowardly Christian guy. Cheap Lazy Vegan, of course. Avant-Garde Vegan. I think he's just going by his name now. I forgot what it is, but I made his caramel bars pretty recently. Pretty good. I would love for you to talk about honey used in parallel bar gymnastics. It's not a vegan sport. Seems kind of unnecessary, and I'm sure there is a vegan option that could replace the use of honey. They also use leather grips. So I did not know about this. Apparently men who do the parallel bars, women do the uneven bars. Men do use honey, a mix of honey and chalk to help with grip. Women don't use honey because they do the uneven bars, but they do use the leather grips. Some seem to use syrup like corn syrup. I saw that mentioned a couple places. I couldn't find anything on like which was more effective. I don't think that's been tested or anything. And I did find these vegan grips. I don't know if that's the type of grip. It's not a huge deal. I mean, you buy a pair and you probably, well, I don't know, if you're actually an athlete, you're going to be using them a lot, huh? It still is like minimal impact. If you're a gymnast, I wouldn't worry about it too much, focus on your diet. Unless you're trying to like change the industry, right? Because that would affect other gymnasts as well and could have a, kind of substantial impact if you're trying to make the standard, synthetic instead of leather for the grips, or corn syrup or something instead of honey. So strange. What's the best vegan joke you've ever heard?
People ask me if I miss meat or dairy. I mean, I miss being liked.
I absolutely loved Los Spookies. Is that what it was called? Oh man, it's been a few years now, but partner and I loved it. It was so cute. And I just learned they have a second season. It's on HBO though, or Max, whatever it's called. We don't have that. What do you do for workouts? What kind of training? Many of you know Kathy Friedrich. I have almost every single one of her workouts. I've done her workouts for well over a decade at this point. Geez, like 15 years at this point. That's crazy. In terms of YouTube, actually right now, I'm doing some Heather Robertson stuff. I really like her videos as well. There's I think she's an Irish woman, Catherine something. I forgot her name, but I like her stuff too. I don't do high impact stuff anymore in terms of like jumping. I really don't like it. And when I work out, I'm working out like right above my sleeping baby. So yeah, I would rather not wake them up. But also it doesn't feel good on my knees. In my 20s, I did like really heavy weight training. I used a squat rack and everything. I haven't done that in many years because it's hard and my back does not like it. So I use weights, but like 2 25-pound dumbbells. That's the heaviest. And right now I do like 30 to 40 minutes. That's really the max I can do is 40 minutes. I get up at 5:30 in the morning and work out and shower and then get the kids up. Got to get my 6-year-old to school. I also try to go for a walk every single day, and I also take the kids to the playground at the end of the day. Do you think veganism should focus a bit more on human exploitation as being non-vegan, or should it be exclusively focused on animals? I mean, technically, like humans are animals, so technically harming a human wouldn't be vegan, but is that useful? I think vegan is useful because it's focused on non-human animals. I mean, most causes are focused on harm, right? We're all kind of doing the same thing, I think, reducing suffering, most of us. But yeah, I don't think like a trans organization should focus on all humans and animals. We're trying to bring attention to one group of sentient beings that we feel is not getting attention, being oppressed. If you just say, well, yeah, everyone, be nice to everyone, people will go, well, yeah, duh. Is lube vegan? If generally not, any recommendations? So I don't have any recommendations, but there seem to be a lot of brands that are saying they're vegan now. Many are glycerin-based. The glycerin could be animal derived, but again, a lot are saying that they are vegan. Unfortunately, the FDA requires testing for lube, animal testing now. They have approved human testing. This was back in 2017. This was Good Clean Love and PETA, but that's just one case. I don't know if any other companies have done this as well and had their their human testing approved. So check out Good Clean Love, I guess. Any advice how to mentally deal with the fact that I have severe gastric issues and was diagnosed with strong histamine intolerance and I had to start eating meat. I cannot at all eat legumes. It's horrible for me as I'm a big animal lover, really a nightmare. I feel like giving up. I feel like no matter what I do in life, my impact on nature and animals will always be atrocious. I think you should focus on what you can do, right? Like what plants you can eat. If you can offset, right? Donating to an animal charity, that's a good thing to do. Oysters are definitely a better meat choice if you could switch out some of the meat you're eating for oysters, if you can stomach them. And there are plenty of other ways to limit impact too, walking or biking instead of driving, limiting single-use plastic, limiting purchasing in general to minimize waste. We can all do something, right? I know it sucks, your situation. Don't feel bad about doing what you have to do to be healthy. Which video are you most proud of? This was a really hard one. I think the roasting my own book one, I'm pretty proud of that. That was not a super easy thing to do. I mean, I don't know, by the time I did it, I guess it wasn't really hard, but it was hard because, not because I really cared about you guys watching it, no offense, but partner, I told him not to. I assume he still hasn't seen it, but yeah, I really did not want him to know the details of my idiocy. Also, my intuitive eating video that took 1,000,000 years. Yeah, I put a lot of work into that one. I'm pretty proud of that one. Pros and cons of living in Portland. If you could live anywhere in the world and expense was no issue, where would you live? Cons for Portland. Obviously, expense. Housing is pretty insane here. There are worse places, but not many. It rains a lot, and it's not so much the rain that bothers me, it's the damn mud. You just get mud everywhere. The homelessness issue, yeah, it's quite an issue here. Driving around like southeast Portland. Whew. Yeah, never seen anything even close to this growing up in the South. And that goes back to the housing being super expensive. We need to build more housing. Portland has taken steps to do that. You can build multifamily housing anywhere in the city. There's no like single family zoning anymore. Awesome. Theft here is pretty insane. Businesses being robbed like multiple times in 1 month and police not showing up for hours. I think we need more police and we need people to actually prosecute these criminals. In terms of the pros, a big one is climate change. This is one of the best places to be in the world in terms of climate change. It is going to be one of the least impacted places. The Pacific Northwest in general, it's already extremely hot in the South. It's already extremely hot in the desert. It's just starting to get extremely hot some days here in Portland, right? We don't have hurricanes. We have a city government that actually believes in climate change. So many vegan restaurants. I love it. We were just looking at more. We have a Japanese one now. Ooh, I think we might try that this weekend. Oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, I'm so hungry. And there's a Sri Lankan one. I want to try that too. But yeah, I mean, so many different cuisines, all vegan. That's pretty amazing. Where would I live if I could live anywhere? I think I would still live in Portland. It's my home now. My kids love it here. They're such Portland kids. As soon as it gets like kind of hot, they're like, eh. It was cloudy and rainy the other day and my 6-year-old was like, yes, ideal weather. But yeah, I think, we have some problems now, but those are not going to last forever. I have no doubt in 10 years things are going to be much better. I probably should not jinx it, but yeah, things are going to get much better. Cities go through ups and downs, they all do. And yeah, just in terms of where we actually live, our neighborhood, I really, really like. I feel safe here. I mean, I would rather have a nicer house. I would like to have a house that was not in need of a million different repairs. That would be nice. But I want it to still be here. Just new. Do you think it would be possible for you to not be vegan in the future? I mean, it's possible, of course, but I think it's very, very unlikely. I can't even think of a scenario where I would not be. I don't, just for like taste preference alone, oh God, the thought of eating meat or anything like that, no. Thank you so much to everyone who left a question. I really appreciate it. Most of them were good questions. I chose close to all of them. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe, hit the bell and turn on notifications. Thank you so much to my patrons at patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. I do post 2 exclusive videos there a month for $5 plus patrons. The first one is just a vlog type thing talking about whatever's going on with me. And then a second one is a controversial topic that's unrelated to veganism. This is the one I posted for August. I have merch and I have an Amazon store page. And I think that's it for me. Thanks, guys. New video soon. Do I have any non-vegan friends? I have 3 young children. I don't have time for any friends.